Hi, and welcome to the No Experience. I'm Cherie No, and I know you think that I would have already said everything that there is to say about South Korea, but I have some more crazy facts about South Korea that we're going to talk about today. So let's just get right into the video. Okay, number one, it is common for Korean men to wear makeup. So this actually isn't strange in South Korea. The job market in South Korea is really competitive, and most of you, if you've watched my channel before or you even know anything about South Korea, know there's a very high beauty standard already. Looks are very important in South Korea, and especially when it comes to the job market, it's very competitive. So even though you may have great qualifications, great education, so will a lot of other people who apply for the job. And often what people try to do to get the edge on the market are things like plastic surgery and makeup. So there are special makeup that is actually branded for men. So it's not that they're wearing heavy cosmetic makeup like women do, but they do things like BB creams, foundations, things like that to enhance their skin and their appearance. So it's not uncommon and it's not strange in South Korea. Number two, let's talk about the rent deposits in South Korea. Oh my God. I'm just going to start off saying, because I know I have a lot of Korean viewers on my channel, that I'm not even going to pretend that I, again, understand everything about this, because my head still is in like actual shock. The rent deposits for an apartment in South Korea, depending on where you live, of course, just like America, can be anywhere between $10,000 to $50,000. See, the first actual 10 times I heard that, I thought there was like a lost in translation, y'all. You know, my Korean ain't that great. I can't wrap my head around this one, y'all. Who just has $10,000 chilling in their bank account to use to move? It's, you know, in America, it's already hard enough to save up like $2,000 for a deposit on an apartment. I live in a very small apartment in South Korea. I'm going to die in this apartment, y'all. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to something a little more pleasant. Number three, when you go hiking in South Korea, there will be air fans at the beginning of the hiking trail for you to blow all of the dirt and dust off your shoes. That way you can get right back into your car and not have a whole bunch of unnecessary dirt and dust that follow you into your car. I mean, how cool is that? Okay, number four, I was going to talk about how in Seoul you can actually rent an appa, but I did recently see a follow-up video from a TikToker who lives in Seoul saying that the website to rent an appa has been down since the beginning of coronavirus. I don't know if they'll ever open it back up. I know this has been a little controversial, but I'll tell you anyway. You, up until last year during coronavirus, were able to rent an oppa, and an oppa is like an older brother. So you could rent a young man to kind of show you around Seoul, show you the local sites, kind of be your tour guide, show you the local foods, and looked really appealing. Actually, I thought it was kind of a cool idea, but at least you know now that was a thing. Okay, number five, air conditioning in South Korea. So I just thought it was interesting that the air conditioners in South Korea are different than in America. In America, we a lot of times use the air conditioners that you fit right into your windows and you install them into your windows just in the summertime when you need them. But because South Korea is a pretty hot place in the summertime, most apartments come with air conditioners. Our air conditioner unit is actually installed high up on our wall, and we have two, one in our bedroom and one in the only other room in the house that we have, because we only have a 2-room apartment. Not 2-bedroom, 2 rooms. Some other apartments or houses will do a stand air conditioner that fits into the corner of their room. But I have noticed that people don't use them very much. Neither do department stores, restaurants, movie theaters, malls, pretty much any place you would go. Because I'm assuming Koreans are just acclimated to this crazy hot and humid summers, but I'll tell you, like, as soon as March hits, I'm already turning mine on, and it drives my husband crazy, but I don't care. Number 6, freezers. So in America, sometimes we'll buy a second freezer that we'll keep in like our garage or like a utility room or something, and it will store like our extra meats. You know, sometimes you go to like Albertsons or Fred Meyer's or something, and there'll be a huge sale on meats, and we'll load up and stick them in the freezer. Or maybe if you grew up in the country like me, your freezers were full of like elk and deer meat, things like that. But here in South Korea, was the first time I went to a department store where there was some appliances or Costco, I saw these freezers and I was surprised because guns are illegal in Korea, and so there's no hunting in Korea. So I was curious what these freezers for. They're for kimchi. And the reason why is because people often will make their own kimchi, and they'll make it and they'll spend like a couple days and they'll make a whole bunch, enough that can last for the whole year, because in Korea we eat kimchi for almost every meal. So, and it's delicious. It's just kind of interesting when you find these things that you think, oh, look familiar in America, but you find out that they're used for something completely different in a foreign country. And that's what the freezers are used for here. Kimchi. Number 7. You might have heard of this one if you've been watching any videos about Korea. South Korea has love motels. Okay, yes, there are love motels. Yes, you can rent them for a couple hours if you want, for obvious reasons. Now, a lot of people in South Korea live with their families until they're about 30. And since you heard earlier about how much rent can be in Korea, you understand why. It's so expensive to move out. Sometimes couples want a little privacy. But that's not the only reason you can use love motels. My husband and I have stayed in them quite a few times because they're really inexpensive to stay the whole night, and they're nice. We stayed in one for like $50 for the whole night, and it came with like a jacuzzi hot tub in our room. It came with a bunch of free amenities. We had nice robes. We had all kinds of goodies in it. And it's very private and discreet. There's no one at the front counter. So when you are checking in, they give you a code and which room you're going to because you've already paid online. So it's completely private, but they're really nice and they're inexpensive. Don't knock them just because you hear that they're love motels. They're inexpensive, they're very clean, and they're pretty cool. Okay, number 8, I did talk about this a little bit on one of my TikTok videos, and if you haven't subscribed to that, I put a lot of videos on my TikTok about Korea that I don't make a full video out of, so you might want to follow me there too. But anyway, the police lights in Korea are always on their car. So the red and blue lights, they're always going, which if you live in America, you understand why that's confusing, right? Because in America, police only turn their lights on and their sirens. Sometimes it's just the lights when they want you to pull over. But here they're always on. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's just so that you're aware of their presence. Korean police are crazy nice, so I'm not sure if it's a courtesy or what, but I've tried to understand like I guess people don't really get pulled over in Korea. I've never actually seen a police officer pull a car over in Korea. I'm guessing if you're speeding or anything like that, the CCTV cameras can easily get your license plate and send you a ticket probably. But maybe that's why it's not confusing to Koreans, because it's not in the culture for you to have to pull over. Yeah, as an American coming to Korea, it's a little confusing. Number 9, and I know many foreigners who come to America comment on this a lot. In South Korea, the public bathroom stalls go from the floor to the ceiling and there's no gap. Yeah, I don't know. I get asked all the time by Koreans why in America our bathroom stalls are only like this big. You know, and there's a lot of space at the top, there's plenty of space on the bottom, and there's gaps between the seams of the door so you can see that somebody is in there. I don't really know the answer to that. I mean, I've guessed a couple times, but I'm not really sure that my answers are right. But here in South Korea, that's not it. In fact, if you ever come visit South Korea, the first time you get off your plane and you use the bathroom in even the airport, that was the first thing I noticed my very first time coming to Korea. I was like, it's like a tomb. But now I really like it. You have a lot of privacy in your bathroom stalls. It is floor to ceiling. There are no gaps. You are completely private in that bathroom, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. And number 10, going back to talking about the police and how friendly they are, the police in South Korea have mascots. So the mascots' names are Podori and Posuni. And I read recently, when I was looking for a picture to show you guys, that recently South Korea is actually making Posuri more gender neutral. So they've changed her from wearing a skirt as a mascot police officer to wearing pants, so she can be more gender recognized as being equal to her male partner. I thought that was kind of cool. The mascots were created in 1999 by a really popular Korean cartoonist. So sometimes when you're out and about in South Korea, you'll see Podori and Posuni on like bus stops or on the as a mural near police stations. They're really cute, and I think it shows again that the police in South Korea are really approachable. And their police cars are kind of cute too. They remind me of a little bit like a Tonka toy. I love it! Anyway, y'all, I really hope that you liked this video. Please consider subscribing. I am trying to get this channel monetized. And also, if you would like to support the channel so I can get out and about and show you more of South Korea, maybe do some more vlogs so you can see different things you can do in South Korea, you can do so at patreon.com/theknowexperience. So, y'all, until next time, stay classy, YouTube.